Good afternoon and welcome to Mike and the Hoss on Wolfeboro Community Television. I'm Mike Danais.
And I'm Charlie Hossack.
Coach, we have a guest today.
We do.
We have our producer, one of our producers,
Yeah.
Ali Champagne, is going to be joining us. That's what the extra chair is here for. I don't know if you guys can see the chair.
See the chair right
We
back
have
there.
the third chair.
Yep.
And we're going to talk about what's going on with behind the scenes on Mike and the Hoss.
Yeah, behind the scenes. And this is actually Allie's last show for a while.
Yeah.
She's heading off to Keene State College to pursue her undergraduate degree. And she's a Kingswood graduate, which is exciting.
Nice.
So it's going to be awesome to be able to figure out what happens behind the scenes because, as you know, there's just so much that goes on that we don't understand.
We have no idea, and we just show up and talk, and they take care of everything else. And Ali's going to kind of enlighten everybody about what does happen.
Absolutely.
So without further ado, let's bring in Ali. All right, welcome back. Ali Champagne.
Hi.
Nice of you to come from behind the glass.
Yeah.
So, Ali, we know you're going to Keene. Kingswood graduate. Congratulations on graduation.
Thank you.
A COVID graduate, as they would say.
Yes,
right?
yeah.
And now you're going to be a COVID freshman.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting.
And what are you majoring in at Keene?
I'm gonna major in film production, which is very exciting. So I have a lot of I have film histories and film production for two of my film classes this first semester.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's great. Tell us a little bit about how you actually got to Mike and the Hoss and started working for Wolfeboro Community TV. What brought you here?
So we have classes in Kingswood where you can do movie making and television broadcasting. You can do either one class for one semester or both for the whole year. Mm-hmm. So that's what I did, and I started out with television broadcasting. And so we would be in the studio next door doing our show, and one day Mr. Goodwin came in and said, "Hey, do you guys want to see what we do, what our studio looks like?" Mm-hmm. So we walked in, and he showed us all the graphics and what they use and how everything works and how a show would be run. And I remember going, I want to do this. And I looked at Giesler and I'm like, how do I do this? I want to do this. And he was like, oh, I can talk to him for you. And it just ended up with me going over to him one class and being, hey, can I help you with meetings? Mm-hmm. And just start out like that. And I did that. Then he's like, hey, do you want to get paid doing this? And I was like, sure. So that's how this happened. And I started doing editing scripts and stuff for other shows on here. Mm-hmm. And then he told me he wanted me to be one of the main people for Mike and the Hoss. So that's how I came here.
Well, we're definitely glad that you're with us.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So Ali, we come in. For the most part, we tape on Tuesdays.
Yes.
And at least during the summer, that's what we've been doing. And Charlie and I come in here for about a half hour, 45 minutes,
Yep.
do our thing, we talk,
Yep.
and then we leave.
Yes.
What happens between the time that we leave and the time that it airs on Fridays?
So, a lot. So from the time that you leave until it airs, I have to first copy the file over to our computers so I can edit it. But the problem with that is the file is big because of how long it is, so it takes a half hour to copy it over sometimes. So usually the first part of it is just a lot of waiting for it to copy over. Then I have to convert it so it's an MP4, not an MOV. And then I can finally put it into Adobe Premiere and edit. For the editing process, it's mainly figuring out audio, because either it's too quiet or too loud, so you want the balance to... You don't want it to be too loud to where they have to turn up the volume, but you also don't want it too loud to the point where it's distorted. So you have to make sure that the audio doesn't hit red, but it doesn't go below, say the number is 6 on ours, so we want it up in the top zone.
So can I ask a question about that?
Yes.
So obviously we, sometimes I'm loud, sometimes Mike's loud, or if we laugh or something.
Yeah.
How do you make that? How can you make that adjustment so that it's not distorted?
Yeah. So how I do it is I take a pen tool and I take the part that is spiking and I drag it down.
Okay.
So then like if there's, it doesn't even have to be like speaking. It could be a clap or a laugh, or sometimes when you open your water bottle and it crickles. It's literally like you're not even trying. You open it and it goes pop, and I'm like, oh, cool, that's a spike.
Yeah.
But it doesn't even have to be like a full thing.
I don't
like
bang on the
sometimes.
table anymore. I used to bang on the table.
Oh
There you go.
my
Now
God.
she's gonna have to edit that out.
There you go. Give you more work,
You would
Allie.
bang on the table as you were speaking, and I'm like, how do I fix this?
Yeah.
But yeah, usually it's just like a small spike, and I can just bring it down. Sometimes it's a full part where the audio is just too loud and it's hitting red a lot, so I have to bring that whole thing down. But I usually just use it with pen tool, because audio gain is what we use to bring everything up for the first part, to make it so you can hear the volume. But sometimes you can't, you have to bring it up to 12, but then everything else is spiking.
Gotcha. So let me ask you a question. So as Mike said, you know, we do 30, 45 minutes or whatever,
Yeah.
and then we leave. How long does it take you from the minute that we leave to get the show ready to be sent out on Friday or put onto Wolfeboro Community TV?
So that's a good question, because that depends on sometimes how long the show is. 'Cause
Sure.
if it's 30 minutes or an hour, like
Yeah.
it can.
So just ballpark.
Oh God. Sometimes I'm here for 4 hours one day and then 2 hours Thursday.
So you're
So-
putting maybe sometimes between 6 to 8 hours into
Yeah.
being able to get
But you also do some pre-work.
show.
Yes, I
Yeah.
do pre-work. I come in a half hour to sometimes an hour if I have to do more before you guys come in. Usually it's a half hour just to like get everything set up, get graphics in order, I usually try and get my whole computer set up ready, like all the files ready, so I don't have to do that afterwards.
Right.
And then when you guys come in, I am behind the glass running the whole show. And then, and then the editing process can take up to like 2 to 3 hours, and then waiting for everything to render can take like a half hour.
Yeah.
So
there's a lot of time.
Yeah. So it really depends on how long the show is, but I can be here to up to like 6 hours.
Wow. And you've been doing our games for us lately, so
I
we
have,
really
yeah.
appreciate that.
Thank you.
Putting those together.
What do we have today?
Guess the Hall of Famer.
Oh.
I'm actually really excited for this one because
Yeah.
I actually knew one of them, so like just by looking
Yeah.
at the information. So
That's good.
I'm curious if you guys know.
Now,
who
is
that
it through all sports or?
all sports? I actually have 2 of each.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
All right, so that's
So-
gonna be.
That's going to be fun.
Yeah.
They're always fun. And then just one other thing. I know that you've been kind of on this side before because you've performed.
Yes.
Yeah. So tell us a little about your high school career. And do you think, Allie, you'll ever do it again?
So I did theater for like since 4th grade, but I did it all my years for high school. I didn't do my senior musical play, but I did the festival. But yeah, I was always on stage. I never did behind the scenes because I was always scared that I'd mess that up. But it was fun because even being on stage, we got to help the behind the scenes people sometimes.
Right.
But yeah, just being on stage was just a lot of fun because it
great.
was just it was stressful leading up to the performances. You know, we'd have long nights and everything, but once the performances came into play, it was always I don't know, it was just great because all your work paid off, and
Right.
like hearing the audience cheer and laugh, it was like, okay, we did something.
Yeah, it was worth it.
So
Yeah.
as stressful as it can be, I definitely want to do it again because the reward is worth it.
Well, Allie, you've
exciting.
done a wonderful job for Wolfeboro Community Television, for Mike and the Hoss, and obviously you've been a big help to Mr. Goodwin, and I'm sure he's going to be missing you when you
Yeah.
leave.
Oh my God, yeah. He keeps telling me, he's like, you don't have to leave. You can come back. I'm like, I'm not driving
Now, in case,
2 hours.
well, just so you know, in case it hasn't been negotiated, let's negotiate it right now. When you come back for breaks, or
Yeah.
if unfortunately you have to come back for an extended break because of COVID,
I do actually. I'm
will,
coming back for.
will
an
we be
extended
seeing
break.
you hopefully behind the
Yes.
glass. Because at times for Mike and the Hoss, it's very stressful with just Timothy. So, having you here is just wonderful.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, because I remember coming back for the first time after I wasn't able to come back. I actually almost cried getting the text saying that I couldn't come back.
Yeah.
I was like, but I want to work. Like, I want to do Mike and the Hoss.
Yeah.
So when I was able to come back, it was very nice to have you guys excited to have me back.
Absolutely.
but yeah,
We love having you here.
Thank you. So yeah, my plan is, because I come back for Thanksgiving and I can't go back until end of January, but they don't know if they're definitely bringing us back.
Sure.
So I definitely want to come back and work.
Awesome.
So
Allie, best of
All right.
luck,
Yeah.
Thank you.
and a big thank you on behalf of Wolfeboro Community Television, Mike and the Hoss, and Mr. Timothy Goodwin.
Yes. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Allie.
All right. Welcome back. It was nice having Allie on.
I was, yeah. She's a lot of fun to talk to, and I think we said it to her, but the work that she does is amazing, and we're appreciative of course, because we certainly don't know anything about it, and we know that she puts in long hours here and really produces a nice product.
I think it would be interesting if while this show was happening,
Yeah.
somebody filmed Allie in what she was doing.
That'd be really cool.
And going through the editing process, obviously shorten it. They don't need an 8-hour film,
Yeah.
thing. But just a kind of behind the scenes
That'd be
about what's
great.
happening. I would be interested in seeing that because we don't step on the other side of the glass.
No, that would be kind of hard for us to do.
Well, even afterwards, we just go right to the door.
Maybe
so
we should, maybe we should do that. We should have Allie out here, and we should try to do the show.
I don't think so.
No, all right. She'd be fine though. She'd be good at it.
All right. Let's move on. Local sports,
Yeah,
we don't know at this point.
we don't. But you know what? You know what we do know? We
I
want
know,
to say
I know.
thank you to Skelly's Market,
Oh my God, we forgot our sponsors. I would like to say thank you to Downtown Grill and Cafe.
and I would like to say thank you to Morrissey's Porch and Pub. Thank you so much for your support of Mike and the Hoss and of Wolfeboro Community TV.
Yes, thank you. Now we can do local sports. We don't know anything.
No,
Not yet.
we know nothing.
But what we do know is that other districts have made some decisions.
Yes.
And they've been sprinkling in. We know the Concord School District has, even though they're remote learning,
Yep.
has decided to have sports.
Yeah, according to the NHIAA guidelines, we know that Winnisquam has decided to do the same. We know that Plymouth has decided to do the same. And that's not just sports, that's also extracurricular activities.
Right.
So, which is great because those are important as
With
well.
a lot of guidelines and restrictions.
Yeah.
But that's big. It gives hope for the Governor Wentworth athletes.
It does. It does.
Maybe, and I think the decision's coming next week for Governor Wentworth.
Yep, I think the school board is meeting next week. And, obviously we're in full support to safely return to the playing fields. And we're already out there. That's the thing. If you and I encourage anybody that would like to see this, between 5 p.m. and 7 p.m., come to the Kingswood Complex. There are athletes out there working and getting ready. Yesterday, I saw outside of Alumni Stadium, I saw the volleyball coach had an outdoor volleyball net because they can't practice inside. So she said, "You know what? We've got a volleyball net out here," and they were having practice,
Yep.
and it's awesome. It was great to see. So those athletes are getting ready.
Well, I mean, we've been saying all summer, it can be done. It
Yeah.
seems daunting, as you look at all the guidelines and stuff like that, but when you step on the field, and if everybody's cooperative, it can be done.
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah.
fingers crossed.
Yeah.
It's going to be a late start, abbreviated seasons.
Yeah.
If the school board says yes and that
Right.
they want to do
And
it.
we've always said to each other, like, you might not get a 20-game season. Even if you got a 10-game season, it's
Right.
better than nothing.
It's better than nothing.
Yeah.
And the practices will still be there.
Yeah.
And we know the coaches are thinking outside the box a little bit to, if it's going to be so much more practicing,
Yeah.
to do game-like atmospheres in the practices.
Yeah.
So, hopefully, fingers crossed that we're sports. So we got to be hoping for sports.
Yeah, we want Kingswood sports.
Yeah. You know what I don't want anymore?
What don't you want?
I do not want Red Sox baseball.
Okay. I'm going to agree with you.
I mean,
It's-
I so we don't get bleeped out. I'm not going to use the word that I put in our notes. But
Yes.
It's not totally
Yeah.
vulgar,
You
but
know
it's
what
not a good word.
No, we can just use the word holy chickens.
Holy chickens.
Holy chickens. So,
Okay.
Holy Chickens, they have the worst record in baseball.
They are embarrassingly bad.
Yes.
And so I had put down things are going well, except for the following.
Mm-hmm.
They can't pitch.
No.
They can't hit. Their major stars are historically bad.
Yep.
They can't run the bases.
Mm.
They can't manage.
Yeah.
He's made exceptionally bad decisions.
Yeah.
And they can't field.
No.
Otherwise than that,
Otherwise, they're looking good. They're looking good. Fenway Park looks nice.
It does. So the question is, are they tanking?
They are. I mean, they are tanking.
No,
yes.
are they intentionally? tanking?
Are they intentionally tanking? I don't know. This is a tough question to answer because can a team really truly intentionally tank? So think about it. I mean, we're certainly not.
Yes.
Well, no. We're not professional athletes. But you know what? The minute you step between the lines, when we played, you're gonna play to the best of your ability. Correct?
Yes.
Okay. So if you're playing to the best of your ability, how can you tank?
Well, I don't think the players tank.
Okay.
I think management tanks.
So they make decisions when they say, okay, we're going to bring in, Joe who has a 70-mile-an-hour fastball.
Yes.
Like that.
Yes.
Okay.
And
instead of
right, we're going to play the guy that's on the end of the bench rather than our superstars. Now, I think in baseball it's a little bit more difficult to do that. Mm-hmm. Whereas we see it happen in football, where we're playing our third string quarterback, or we're going to play our backups, and so on. We see that all the time.
Yeah.
We see it in basketball. We saw it with the Sixers for many years.
Yeah.
That they were just playing the guys on the end of the bench to look for that number one draft pick.
That's right.
I don't think it happens in baseball quite as much, or at least it's not obvious. But I think we said last week, I don't recognize 2/3 of the names that are on the Red Sox roster right now.
Right.
And this is a team that has the third highest payroll in baseball. Mm-hmm. This is embarrassingly bad right now that the Red Sox are doing. They are horrific, and I use that word lightly.
Right.
I mean, it is really, if you know baseball, you realize how bad they are.
Right.
They bring in pitchers that are ultimately throwing batting practice, minus a couple of them.
Sure.
They make just, I think I had put down, it's like Cal Ripken level, minors level base running mistakes.
Yeah.
On the bases. It's just like, where's the coaching?
Right.
Where's the managing? Mm-hmm. And I am not a believer in Ron Renicky. I think
I don't think anyone is.
I mean, I think that
he's an interim.
I think they're trying to maybe get Alex Cora back. I think they left the door open for Alex Cora to come back. But he doesn't explain his decisions very well.
Right.
He doesn't make very good decisions. Mm-hmm. We got on him. I was jumped off ship after the second game when they gave Xander Bogaerts a management day on a 60-game season.
Yeah.
On the second game, they gave the best player a management day. I think it set the tone for the rest of the season. So it goes back to that question: are they tanking?
Yeah.
Is management now? Heidblum, the general manager, he was not given a full deck by any means.
No.
With this team. But
are we going to see some trades?
Well, that was the next question. Yes.
Yeah.
I think that J.D. Martinez gets traded, even though he's doing horribly.
Yeah.
I think Jackie Bradley Jr. is going to get traded. Mm-hmm. I don't think they're going to trade Benintendi, even though he's historically bad.
Yeah.
They still have him for a few more years.
Right.
I don't think they're going to trade Rafael Devers.
No.
I think they're going to build around Devers.
Yeah, you got Devers and Bogaerts.
Yeah.
You can build around.
I think Evaldi could get traded.
Yeah. I mean, he definitely could be used somewhere else. Someone that's competing.
He signed a 3-year deal.
Yeah.
This is his second year of that 3-year deal.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's somebody who definitely could get traded. Obviously Erod's not going anywhere because he's not playing.
Right. So, I mean, I think you could see, you're right. That's why I asked the question. I think you're going to see a lot of moves, and there are teams out there that could pick these 3 or 4 players to help them make a run.
They have one hitter that's hitting above 300, and that's Mitch Moreland, who's batting 300.
Yeah.
Or 301 or something like that. You look across the league, the young stars that are across the league. I was looking at Fernando Tatis playing in San Diego.
Yeah.
What an exciting ball player that he has. He hitting the ball all over the park. Now, I guess they have Rafael Devers that was kind of doing that last year, but I don't know to this level. He's got 11 home runs already.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a lot of excitement throughout the league with these younger players. The Red Sox, they don't have anything exciting going on.
No.
Anything. Thank God for them that they don't have fans in the park.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, it's a blessing.
I mean, it is a blessing. And what they were projecting with such a shortened season, 60 games, like the Red Sox are on track if we had the 162 games to win like 46 games. Like that's
if they had 162.
If they had 162 games, they would win 46 games.
Yeah, I know. It's something like a winning percentage like 240.
Yeah, it's awful.
Third highest payroll in baseball.
Yeah.
Whose fault is it?
Dombrowski,
okay. Making sure we're on the same page.
We're on the same page with that.
Another interesting note on MLB, which I Did you see what happened in Cleveland?
No. What?
So a couple of the young pitchers in Cleveland decided to leave the hotel and go out and party. And now these guys have sub-3 ERAs. They're two of the frontline pitchers.
So they're studs.
They're studs.
Yeah.
And the team, so they come back, they get caught. Yeah. And so the team...
Did they go together? These guys, or...
I don't know that.
Okay,
I don't know that. But they left at the same
night.
I believe it was the same night.
Yeah.
And so they were sent to their backup, where they have a quarantine area. And so they had this team meeting, and apparently the team laid into them. And many of the players in the Cleveland Indians, who are in first place or second place in the division, said, if they come back on this team, we're gone.
Wow. So they took a stand.
So what my point is that it seems that the players are policing themselves in MLB because they want to get these seasons in. We saw what happened with the Miami Marlins. We saw what happened with the St. Louis Cardinals.
Right.
There was another team out there that has been missing games.
So that's the only way that MLB is going to survive, because we had talked about how we were surprised last week that it was still going on.
Yeah.
So
well, and you're right. That's the only way that they're going to survive, because management doesn't seem to be policing it very well.
Right.
It seems like the players are saying, no, I want to get paid.
Yeah.
Even though it's prorated,
still
60 games out of my 162, when you have a $25 million salary, it's still pretty good.
Yeah.
And they're policing. They said that they're not coming back to the team. I'm guessing they'll soften their... Now, neither one of them tested positive.
Right.
But I'm guessing that these guys will soften their stance. The teammates, once the smoke dies down a little bit. But the comments that came out is that you put us at risk, not just losing our season.
Yeah.
But there was somebody who had a leukemia survivor, maybe. I might be getting that one wrong.
Sure.
And other people that have family issues as far as health issues, and they said, no, you put us at risk. And so I think it's good.
Yeah.
I not that they put them at risk. I think it's good that they're policing themselves.
I agree.
I'm going to jump to the NFL for a second.
Okay.
Because there was the same kind of story. So the Patriots started their camp, but I'm going to jump. In Seattle, did you see the player that got cut?
Yes. Yeah.
So I did not know that they were keeping things locked down as tight as they are.
I didn't either. I thought it was a little more loose.
And so they're in hotels.
Yeah.
These camps are in hotels, as far as our understanding is. And this player tried to sneak in a girl.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he got caught.
He did.
And he got cut.
Yeah.
Gone.
Gone.
See you later. And so, again, we've kind of gotten on the case about the NFL and the MLB that they're not going to make it because they don't have the bubble going, etc. But
although they don't have the bubble, they obviously have things in place that they're policing themselves and they want to have a season.
And they've stepped up that enforcement too.
They sure did. Yeah.
They're not letting what happened with the Marlins happen in baseball,
right?
And they're obviously not letting anything get loose in the NFL.
Yeah.
Which
is good. I mean, and I'm sure you feel the same way, but I really want an NFL season. I'm
out of all of them.
I'm just really excited about it. I mean, we'll talk about it in a minute. But we have a basketball season. We're gonna finish the NHL season, which is exciting. But man, do I want football.
So let's talk football right now. The Patriots started camp.
Yep.
Interesting. Yesterday was their first padded practice.
Yeah.
And all three quarterbacks got equal time.
Yeah.
There is not a starting quarterback yet for the New England Patriots.
No, you got Stidham, Hoyer, and of course Cam Newton.
Actually, Stidham threw more passes than Newton yesterday. He was like 15 out of 16.
But Stidham didn't dance like Newton did yesterday.
No.
Did you see that?
He did not dance.
Did you see that?
I did not see that.
Yeah. So they have some music piped into training camp and stuff, and Cam Newton was boogieing, and which is really interesting because Bill Belichick allowed that to happen because that's not something that you typically see at a Patriots camp.
Do you think it's possible that Belichick, because of the Gronk leaving and the no fun atmosphere and Brady, I don't want to be under that, do you think it's possible that Belichick maybe changed his approach a little bit to make it a little bit more of a welcoming environment?
I think so, and I think there really is a sense of excitement around Cam Newton. So I mean, if he can be loose and keep the team loose, then I think it's great. You think so before we get into more Patriots stuff, all right, so we should start right now. Who's the starting quarterback for the Patriots on week 1? And we can change it every week if we need to.
Right now, I think it's Cam Newton.
Okay. I'm going to go Cam Newton as well. So, for right now.
If it's not Cam Newton, who is it?
It'd be Stidham.
No. Brian.
You're going with Hoyer? Nah, I don't know.
Hoyer knows the system.
I know Hoyer knows the system.
If Newton doesn't start, it's because he doesn't understand the system.
How long, and I don't know the answer to this, this is maybe more rhetorical, but how long does it take you to learn the system? Stidham was there with the GOAT. He was there every single day. He saw the reps.
I don't know. Ask Chad Ochocinco how long it takes to learn the system. Ask Joey Galloway how long it turns to learn the system.
I get that. But, and then Stidham also, he plays with the second offense. He's playing against the first defense, so he is seeing an elite defense every single day. He's seeing the McCourty brothers every day.
And last year, they were managing Brady's reps, so Stidham saw first-team offense a lot.
So I have a hard time believing that Stidham doesn't have the ability to be ready. He may not have the ability, but I think he's had the opportunity to understand and know the system.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
If Stidham's the starter, is Newton on the roster?
I think he's on the roster because he can't go anywhere else.
Why not?
I mean, he can. I mean, they can go someplace else. But who in the NFL needs Cam Newton?
Well, there could be a quarterback that goes down during training camp, and
there could be
opportunities come from that.
I know that Bill's probably not going to keep 3 quarterbacks.
I don't know.
You think?
I don't know. I mean, it's not like you have the GOAT there at the top, and he's going to get the number 1 reps no matter what.
Yeah.
I mean, you could
go week to week, I guess.
And I'll make the argument about keeping Hoyer is that he knows that system more than anybody else.
I actually, just I'm a Hoyer fan. I like Brian Hoyer. And I think the Patriots can win with Brian Hoyer. But I think as far as a Patriots product, I think you're probably going to need Cam Newton, and if not Cam Newton, then Jarrett Stidham.
Well,
because Brian Hoyer is not the future of the Patriots. Brian Hoyer is an old man. Okay.
I think they're going to need Newton because I don't think they're loaded with talent, and so you're going to need Newton to create a lot of offense. Whereas
you're going to need him to run.
Stidham might be the guy that if you had 3 or 4 good receivers out there, that you could throw to and count on, and good running game and good offensive line, manage the game.
Yeah. So are you suggesting, like, if you're put your Bill cap on right now, I guess. If you're there, have Newton as your starting quarterback if he can understand the system, and then try to build to get the weapons that you need for the future so Stidham can come in and replace him?
Well, in a neutral, I think we're just going to do what's best for the team.
That's a good bill. That's a good bill.
I think if Stidham's the starting quarterback,
yeah,
I think you should be really excited about the future.
Yeah.
Because he beat out Cam Newton and Brian Hoyer. He knows the system,
yeah,
and they're going with him for the future.
Right.
I think that's a really good sign if Stidham's the quarterback. If Cam Newton's the quarterback, I think you could be excited about this year.
Yeah.
But he's not going to be there next year.
Right. Yeah, we know that.
If Brian Hoyer's the quarterback, look forward to the draft.
Yeah.
Because they're saying that Stidham's not the guy.
Yep.
So that would be my take on it.
And I guess, and for me, I'm a warrior by nature, so I worry about, like, I want to look to the future. We've never been here, Mike. I should have some therapy for this. All I've known is Tom Brady. So, like, I'm actually concerned, like, let's build for the future. Who's the future? I need to know the future now. You know what I mean? So I get kind of I get a little anxious. I know the future. You've already said it. The future's not Cam Newton. I get that.
Yeah.
It could be exciting this year, and maybe they could get a Super Bowl with Cam Newton. That'd be awesome. But I want to know the future.
Well, we've been so spoiled over the last 20 years that every time that, not that we sat here for the last 20 years, but every time that we were in August, we knew who the quarterback was going to be.
Right.
We knew what the offense was going to look like.
Yep.
And pretty much every year they had a dominant offense, except for last year.
Yeah, and we knew that they were going to win the AFC East, guaranteed.
Yes.
So, and then now we know nothing.
It was really nice riding the wave of 20 years.
And of any year for it to happen, 2020, COVID-19, and everything, everything's unpredictable. Yep. So, all right, NHL. You catch the Bruins game last night? Oh my gosh, yeah. I mean, I know we were texting a little bit back and forth, but what a third period.
We talked about this last year, and there is nothing better than NHL playoffs.
No.
Even if there's no fans in the stands.
Right.
It's still so intense. And they were it's not that we were looking bad. I thought they were outplaying Carolina last night. I don't think Hossack looked really good.
No, a little shaky.
We'll talk about why Hossack is in there. But we were watching. It was the end of the second period. I was watching with my boys, and I was like, the Bruins are getting shut out. Their goalie's standing on his head. Reamer was standing on his head last night.
He was so good.
And it was just one of those nights. You know, he said, oh, they're not going to get it. And then the tweets, oh, the Bruins have fell back to earth, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
So then they get the DeBrusque gets the first goal, and then it was just then there was the hit.
Yeah, the hit,
The hit. So Charlie McAvoy just absolutely laid out Stahl, and with a clean, just aggressive hit, and it just changed the momentum of that game.
It did.
And then they scored a whole bunch of goals, and they went 4-3. I actually went away at 4-2, and I went to the Democratic Convention just to see what was going on there, and
it was. I mean, it was great. I mean, I watched the whole third period, but it was awesome because obviously they brought it out to a 4-2 lead, and then they kind of got that late goal with a minute, whatever. To make it 4-3, so then it turned in. You know how exciting that is.
I know.
You pull the goalie, and it's just your nerves. It's just, I love it.
When the Bruins are playing well, which we saw that third period, the passing, the creativity that they have, is they can throw three lines out there that just move the puck around. It is so fun to watch. As a hockey guy, you appreciate it how much that teamwork and passing is. They don't have those individual efforts that you see a lot of. It's team, it's pass, it's get to the open guy, and it's really pretty, and so it was fun to see. We talked about Hossack for a second. On Friday, after Thursday's loss, right? On Friday's loss, Thursday's loss. Tuukka Rask made some comments about how I'm not really into this. It's just kind of a preseason exhibition. Really,
preseason exhibition. You're in the playoffs.
And it did not go very well. And now the Bruins, Chara, basically, kind of supported him, but you knew that there was something going on behind the scenes.
Right.
Well, 12 hours later, he says, "I'm going home."
Yeah, opts out of the season.
Yeah.
In the middle of the playoffs.
In the middle of the playoffs, with the team tied 1-1.
Yeah.
These are extraordinary times, so this is not your typical April playoff run. For the Bruins, this is, they're up there, and he has a newborn. There might be some stuff behind the scenes that'll probably come out later on.
Sure.
But basically, he said, "Guys, I'm out. Good luck," which I thought was pretty cool too. But
absolutely.
And the Bruins organization stood behind him. They didn't throw him under the bus.
Right.
But again, you're in that locker room. Do you think this galvanized that team?
Yeah, I think this is the end of Tuukka Rask's career.
With the Bruins, I agree.
With the Bruins.
Yep, I agree.
And as you said, obviously family first. I totally support that, and anything that people do. But it's just the timing of it. After the comments that were made after he lost, I can't. It's hard for me to defend Tuukka Rask. I think that he not being there, I think is, will it be the storyline? Bruins win Stanley Cup because they rallied around the fact that there was upset with Tuukka Rask and his decisions.
I think it's lose-lose for Tuukka.
Yeah.
I really do. And this is not the first time that his dedication has been questioned.
Yeah.
He missed Game 7 of the series because he was having some digestive issues. To put that lightly. But we saw the first game of the bubble. He woke up with a headache and dialed in and says, "I got a headache, I can't play."
Yeah.
Where he hasn't played. They hadn't played a game in 6 months or 4 months or whatever. So this is not the first time. I just want Allie to know I really opened my bottle of water very quietly.
Did you? That's awesome. Yeah. I didn't hear it at all. I'm sure it spiked.
So anyway, I think that even though Hossack does not have the talent that Tuukka has, that first game that Hossack got in there, they were blocking shots left and right. They were really, really motivated to play in front of him.
Yeah.
It's just, Hossack lets in soft goals, and he did last night.
That
second goal was soft.
Yeah.
I didn't see the third goal. The first goal,
the third goal was deflected.
But that second goal, you're not going to win a Stanley Cup if you let goals in like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the Bruins are going to have to play that much better. Now, they've been doing it without Pasternak. Pasternak, when they scored the overtime winner the other night, got hurt in the celebration.
He did. It's crazy.
Well, I mean, there's a black cloud that follows that guy too, because a rain cloud that follows him.
Yeah.
He hurt his finger. He slipped on ice.
He slipped on ice. I know.
Which is the most ironic thing ever for a hockey player.
Yeah.
But this time he hurts himself. He jumped up kind of and just
tweaked.
went down.
Yeah.
I don't know. They won't release what he hurt, but I want to say on a positive note, David Krejci, who's their second line center, he's been with them for 10 or 11 years now. Always talks about him being traded. He's always on that trading block, but that guy's a professional. That guy steps up in the playoffs.
He does.
And again, he's playing really, really well, and it's nice to see. Another game was last night.
Yes.
The NBA. The Celtics played last
night.
The
Celtics played last night.
Their opening game.
Game 1 against the 76ers. Did you catch any of it?
I did.
Okay.
I did catch some of it,
Yeah, going back and forth. I get you. It was interesting. I mean, they got the win. They were down at one point late in the game. They were losing. Concerns that I have, Tatum got injured. He's got a...
Tatum did?
I'm sorry, Jaylen Brown. Excuse me.
Did.
Jaylen Brown got injured. So he's got a contusion in his upper thigh, and he did come back in, and his mobility wasn't the greatest. Gordon,
I thought he was there at the end. He got hot in the fourth quarter.
He did. But it's also adrenaline, and what is he gonna? How is he gonna be? How is he doing today? What's it gonna look like for game 2? Gordon Hayward sprained ankle.
That's concerning.
Yep.
That's concerning. Now, was it the same?
It was the right ankle.
So is that the one that he blew out?
I'm not sure, but
I think that matters.
It definitely matters. But even a sprained ankle, with a sprained ankle, you get a sprained ankle, and you could be out for a couple weeks.
For a basketball, if it's that high ankle sprain, you could be out for a couple weeks.
So that's that's concerning. And then the other piece that we had texted about last night is Marcus Smart. All he does is shoot, and if he shot and made them, would be great. But all he does is shoot and miss.
So they were up by 6 points with about 2 minutes left, maybe a minute and a half.
Yeah, a minute and a half. Yeah.
And he came down. I'm sure this is the one that you're talking about. He came down.
Yeah.
You want to run the clock a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, take advantage of your
seconds off. He comes out and just launches a bomb.
Yeah, it was just like boom,
and just planked it off the rim, and they
it was like middle school basketball. Like, hey, I'm going to come down and just shoot.
And you got Tatum on the floor. You had Brown on the floor. You had Walker on the floor.
Right.
You have 3 of your better players are on the floor. They don't touch the ball in that possession.
Right.
He just decides to launch a 3.
Yeah.
I don't know what his numbers were last night, but there's nothing we're going to do about it because they just obviously we're not going to do anything about it.
No,
but
of course.
Brad's not going to do anything about it because he keeps letting him do it.
Yeah, I know, and it's frustrating because it's gonna eventually cost him a game.
If you're shooting, overall he's probably somewhere in the vicinity of 30%.
Yeah.
25% from threes. I don't know if that's.
Yeah.
I'm guessing. And you got guys that are next to you that are closer to 50%.
Yeah.
But he keeps shooting as much as they do.
Yeah.
And he has incredible value. And there's talk that he's the heart and soul of this team right now.
And that's fine. And he plays great defense.
Oh my God, he plays unbelievable defense. He goes up against Embiid. He goes up against anybody that's on that floor and gives them fits.
Yeah.
But maybe this is he wants to take 12, 15 shots a game, and he'll play good defense.
I guess, they shoot, but he ain't a shooter.
No, he's not.
Play defense, because that's what you're really, really good at.
So they won, and I saw a little bit of frustration in Embiid.
Yeah.
Especially towards the end of that game. The Celtics have some serious rebounding issues against Philadelphia. Mm-hmm. And they were able to, at the end, they stole that rebound, which ended up clinching it. Yeah, which ended up clinching it, but... and Embiid was pissed that he didn't get that rebound.
Yeah.
They get their hands full with Philadelphia. They don't match up well with him.
Nope.
They don't. And their best bet is that Embiid decides to give up.
Kind of give up, yeah. Because every game is going to be just like last night, back and forth.
Yeah.
So.
On a good note, Tatum had 32.
Tatum did.
Brown had 29.
Yep.
That's your future.
That's what you need. Yeah.
Walker played well.
Yeah.
And. I don't know what Hayward ended up with. He got hurt.
He was playing well.
Yeah, he got hurt towards the end of that game.
He did. He left in the third quarter.
So.
And what do you think about the? And it has nothing to do with the playoffs. But what do you think about the coaches just kind of wearing polos?
Like it.
I love it. I love it. Yeah.
And we had talked about, and we've talked about on the show and off the show about COVID's going to change how things are done.
Yeah.
It's going to change what schools look like. It's going to change what sports look like.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to. A coach does not need to be in a 3-piece suit,
absolutely
walking
not.
up and down the sidelines, sweating.
I know, because they're moving, and I mean, I agree.
I don't understand why they have to be in the same thing in the NHL. I don't think a coach needs to be in a 3-piece suit behind the bench.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, you can look classy in a Bruins jumpsuit.
A Bruins, or a polo or whatever.
Whatever. Yeah. So
I agree.
I think it is going to change. I don't think baseball managers should be in uniforms.
I was just going to go there. Should baseball managers? No.
Baseball uniforms are meant for guys that are in shape.
Yeah.
Not for
the players. It's meant for the players.
210-pound flabby dudes.
Yeah.
That's not.
They're not going to get in the game. Yeah. So I agree. I agree with you. So.
We're not speaking about you specifically, Chip. So don't. Don't.
Yes, we still love your sponsorship. Thank you. And I know we missed it on the MLB piece, but we do have a new home run leader in the MLB. My obsession, Mike Trout.
It makes it look so easy.
Yeah,
he just makes it look so easy.
I just love him. So I think he's a great player and a great. As they've heard a million times on the show, even a better person. So.
You know who else is doing really well?
No.
Mookie Betts.
He's doing great, yeah. Oh my gosh, he had 3-homer game?
Yeah, it's too bad the Red Sox can't get any players like that.
Oh man, Mookie, do you think he'd ever be a Red Sox?
In 11 years when he's 42?
Yeah. Oh wow.
All right. We have a game.
Oh.
And
this
it's
is
gonna
awesome.
Be Guess the Hall of Famer.
Guess the Hall of Famer, created of course by Ali Champagne.
Yes.
All right, so we're Guess the Hall of Famer. All right, I'll start. All right. An American former professional player and coach was nicknamed the Kangaroo Kid and spent 17 seasons with the 76ers. The Kangaroo Kid. 17 seasons. Holy wow. Gosh. Player and coach. I have no idea. Do you have any idea? Yeah.
Do you have a guess? I have a guess.
The only 76er, I guess it's not going to be the right answer. I guess I would go with Julius Erving. But that's Dr. J. So.
But
I've never heard the Kangaroo Kid.
No, but I'm going to say Julius Erving also, just because I'm not sure.
Billy Cunningham. Okay.
All right, so this is next level.
Oh, this
difficulty.
is Allie. Is
right,
that's
an American former basketball player and coach, born December 7th, 1956, executive in the National Basketball Association.
Okay, that's you. That's all you.
I'm gonna say Jerry West.
56, 66, 76.
No, I'm not saying Jerry. Can I say Jerry West? I'm gonna say Pat Riley. I'm changing it to Pat Riley.
I'm gonna go with I guess I would. That was just
Pat Riley.
I'll go with Pat Riley. Oh my goodness, French Lick, Indiana. We should have known that. Larry Legend, Larry Bird.
Oh, you're right.
All right, former football running back, played in the NFL for 16 seasons, inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2003, and primarily played for the Los Angeles Raiders.
I think I got this one.
Okay. Let's see. NFL for 16 seasons, Hall of Fame 2003. I don't know. Herschel Walker.
Marcus Allen.
Oh, you got it. Nice. That's a good one. I remember Marcus Allen.
Center fielder in MLB, played most of his career for the Los Angeles Dodgers. At the end of his career, he ranked 7th in MLB history in putouts and total chances in the outfield. Center fielder for the Dodgers. God, I'm doing a blank on this one. I'm going to say Jackie Robinson. Jackie Robinson is my guess.
That's your guess? Sure, I'll go with that too. I don't know. Oh, Willie Davis. Oh.
This is your neck of the woods over there. Los Angeles.
I was more of the Bay Area, Michael. San Francisco. All right. This was a Canadian ice hockey player, head coach and executive, was known by the nickname the Big Irishman and coached for the Philadelphia Flyers.
Canadian ice hockey player.
That's a surprise, a Canadian ice hockey player. The Big Irishman. Yeah, I have no idea. I'm not even going to try to guess. So
I'm going to say Larry Robinson.
Pat Quinn.
Okay.
All right. This is you.
Canadian former ice hockey defenseman, was the senior advisor of the hockey operations for the Florida Panthers. His number for the Philadelphia Flyers was 20. Former ice hockey defenseman, was the senior advisor for the hockey operations for the Florida Panthers. Allie, these are really difficult.
They are. They're very
I
challenging.
thought we were going to see pictures. I don't know. I don't even have a guess. Larry Robinson.
I don't know. Some what is it? Richter.
No, I'm going to say. What do you say?
Mark Richter. Is that his name? I don't know. Richter.
I'm going to say Rick Tocchet.
Rick Tocchet. Richter. Chris Pronger. All right. This is you or me?
This is you.
Was an American professional golfer, generally considered to be one of the greatest players, notable for his profound influence on the golf swing theory. I don't know. Jack Nicklaus.
I'd say Ben Hogan.
Oh, look at you. Up. I can't win now. 2-0. Nice job. This is you.
An English-American PGA Tour golfer of the 1920s and 30s. After he retired, he became a well-regarded trainer. He had 31 PGA Tour victories and was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1992.
You know?
I'm going to say Bobby Jones, which I don't think is correct.
I'm going to say, I have no idea, so I'm going to say Bill Buckner. Harry Cooper. All right.
I win.
Awesome.
So that means we're evened up 2-2.
2-2. All right, and we're going to have to wait on games until Allie comes back for school break.
All right. I guess that's going to do it for us. Do you have anything else?
No.
Let's thank our sponsors, Skelly's Market.
Yep. Morrissey's Porch and Pub.
And Downtown Grill and Cafe. Thank you. And thank you to the sponsors. Thank you to Wolfeboro Community Television. And we will see you next week.
Yep. Thank you. Go Knights. And thank you, Allie Champagne.
Thank you, Allie. Good luck in school.